a prehistoric city, Oregon, 1905. A discovery has been made in the Andes Mountains, 250 miles from Arauco, Chile, of a city deserted for 2,000 years, but once inhabited, presumably by Aztecs of much larger stature than those who lived in Central America, according to the story told by two men just returned from Chile, all right? So they're just saying Aztecs probably. They don't know. How can Aztecs be down there older? Aztecs are kind of more new, you know? They expect that their story will add to the scientific knowledge of South American prehistoric races and are now hurrying east to present the result of their researches to American and German scientists. The discoverers of the ancient city are Professor Emil von Verges of Berlin, a famous archaeologist of Germany, and William J. Hemingway of New York, who has spent several years exploring South America. At the head of a party of 5, they have spent a year in South America on a special expedition of exploration. The deserted city was found in a small valley, reached only after weeks of hardships. It was in an excellent state of preservation. The explorers finding stone houses, supposed to have been erected 20 centuries ago, crumbling and grown over with mosses and shrubs, yet standing upright, ancient tools of husbandry, household implements of stone, and hermetically sealed graves. Hermetically sealed graves give evidence of a high state of civilization. A large quantity of articles are being taken east. They're being what? Taken to the east. These articles, right? These artifacts they're finding here in the Andes, they're bringing them to where? The east. They're going to put them in the museums over there, guys. They're going to say, oh, we found this in Egypt. Oh, we found this in Babylon, Iraq. They're clearly telling you in this article, right? The articles are being taken east. The city comprised 1,500 souls. Von Burgess believes that either flood or disease exterminated the prehistoric race. Probably the latter, all right? Or flood. Now, since we're reading newspaper articles and we just read that story, right? We're going to the New York Times here, right? NewYorkTimes.com. Says here, a legendary lost city in Andes gives hint of mysterious culture by John Noble Wilford, right? This was written in February 1st, 1985. It says, high in the Andes of Peru, explorers have examined and photographed in great detail the remains of a legendary lost city that archaeologists believe may rival the spectacular Inca ruins at Machu Picchu. The ruins of vast walls and terraces, buildings and tombs and statuary, all perched on the steep, cloud-shrouded eastern slopes of the Andes overlooking a nameless river, were presumably a major center of an early, resourceful, and mysterious people whose civilization flourished long before the glory days of the Incas, all right? Long before the Incas. American and Peruvian archaeologists, excited by the prospects of making important discoveries about a previously unknown culture, announced plans yesterday to return to the remote jungle site next summer to begin comprehensive studies that could continue over the next 15 years. The announcement was made at a news conference at the University of Colorado at Boulder. I remember this was 1985, so whatever happened. Mystery about culture. The site known as Grand Pajaten was apparently occupied by an unknown people from AD 500 to 1500. According to preliminary studies by University of Colorado archaeologists, it is situated in the province of San Martin in a cloud forest, 8,600 feet above sea level, a place of almost perpetual rain, dense jungle growth, and no human habitation. All right, so at one point, that was a metropolis right there. And it's funny how they disappeared, supposedly, or they just, stopped being a culture right when the Spaniards, the Sephardic Jews, Moorish, and other Catholics came by. One of the mysteries of these people, beside their identity and relationship to the Incas and to other known prehistoric cultures on Peru's north coast, is how they managed to maintain an apparently thriving culture under such daunting physical circumstances. Dr. Jane Wheeler, an anthropologist at the University of Colorado, said, "We're intrigued by the evidence of dense human habitation because such jungle areas are apparently unoccupied in other parts of the world. High civilization." Dr. Tom Lennon, a University of Colorado archaeologist who explored the site last summer, said in a telephone interview that the evidence at Gran Pajaten was of a high civilization that developed a distinctive style of architecture and might have had an advanced agriculture. The site is probably only one of many in the area, Dr. Lennon said, and may not even be the most important one. He's saying there might even be more that they haven't found, and it might not even be the main site. Dr. Wheeler and Dr. Lennon are to direct the new exploration program, which is being undertaken with the cooperation of the Peruvian Institute of Culture and two Peruvian universities. Commenting on the plans, Dr. Craig Morris, the South American curator at the American Museum of Natural History in New York, said that Grand Pajaten is an impressive site, very likely to produce interesting and important discoveries. According to Dr. Luis Lumbreras, a scholar of prehistory at the Institute of Andean Archaeology in Lima, the ancient peoples who inhabited the remote eastern slopes of the Andes are the last undescribed pre-Hispanic civilization in Peru. You guys listen to that? They're undescribed. They don't know who these people were. So if they don't know who these people were, how can they say who they were not? Right? Who's these people that disappeared who are undescribed, huh? And how come you don't know where you're from, huh? Today. Scholars regard the pre-Hispanic civilizations centered in Peru as the most impressive in South America. The heyday of the Incas, who controlled a region from Colombia south to Chile and Argentina, lasted less than 300 years, ending with the arrival of the Spanish in the early 16th century. The arrival of who? Who? The Spaniards. Who's the Spaniards? Gran Pajaten has been a legend and lore that has fascinated archaeologists for years, particularly after the discovery of Machu Picchu in 1911. The phrase lost cities was popularized by Hiram Bingham, the discoverer of Machu Picchu, to characterize the ruins of ancient cities in the mountains of Peru, lost to all but a few nearby residents. It has been the subject of rumors and unsuccessful expeditions since the beginning of this century, Dr. Lennon said of Gran Pajaten. In 1963, Peruvian archaeologists found the site, spent a few days of reconnaissance, and then abandoned it again to the jungle. The lost city was lost again. Impetus for explorers. But last summer, 4 Coloradans, inspired by the legends and the 1963 discovery, trekked to the site by mule and then by foot, an arduous journey of several days, and spent more than a week examining and photographing the ruins. Accompanying Dr. Lennon were Dr. Alan Storno, a surgeon, Dr. Alan Stormo, a surgeon, John Lovett, a businessman, and Dr. Strand Brenton, another surgeon, all of Boulder. Dr. Lennon said many of the structures at Grand Pajaten were in remarkably good condition. 3-foot-high wood carvings, still well preserved, hung from the eaves of slate-tiled roofs over burial towers built into the mountainside. Do you guys hear this? Large pieces of fabric and undamaged pottery were found. Decorative exterior paint on some structures was preserved. The burial towers were connected by a narrow pathway skirting the edge of a 1,000-foot cliff. Cairns, possibly burial places, dotted the site. Below the burial towers were at least 16 multi-storied round buildings and 2 rectangular structures, the heart of Grand Pajaten. Some of the decorations included carved stone faces with representations of feather headdresses, okay? With what? Representations of feather headdresses, all right? I'm going to show you guys that wasn't only in North America. I found a lot of the Maya vases showing the Mayas wearing feathered headdresses just like the Sioux wear. So they found it here too. Geometric designs and drawings of birds and animals. The explorers also discovered the signs of terraced fields cut into the steep mountainside, which they said indicated both sophisticated agricultural practices and long-term habitation. Grand Pajaten is situated in a region of unspoiled jungle and steep river valleys that has been set aside as the Rio Abiseo National Park. The rivers in the region are tributaries of the Amazon. You understand? These are sources for the Amazon. All right, so we're going to continue. That was pretty cool, right? This ancient city up there nobody knows about. Who's the people that built it, right?